In today's Adobe Illustrator tutorial, you will learn how to use Freeform Gradient tool, which is a new feature in Adobe Illustrator CC 2019. You will see how to work with points and lines of freeform gradients by applying gradients to different shapes, and we'll try different combinations between points and lines to make interesting effects. You're watching TNT tutorials, let's move on and create a new document. Select Print, A4, Horizontal Orientation, in Advanced Options select RGB, and click on Create. You can download this image reference and colors by the link in the video description. Just create layers for them, place them like so, and lock them. Let's create new layer. I will rename it to Freeform. M for Rectangle tool. Just drag rectangle from corner to corner. I for eyedropper tool, and pick this color. Find Gradient tool on the left, it's right here. I recommend you to drag this tool right here to this panel, just as I did, because it's very handy to have it here. Now click here on Freeform Gradient. We will work with points now. Pick all these points with Shift. Click here for Color Picker. Pick this color. Now V for Selection tool, G for Gradient tool. Pick this point. And what options do you have to change color for this point? You can double-click on this color icon. You can also click here. You can pick any color with Color Picker. And you can click on Color. Choose any color here. Or enter HSB mode. And apply darkness or lightness in this menu. So let's make this color darker. Let's drag this one here. You can drag this point and make ellipse bigger. Like this. Let's pick Color Picker and click here to pick this color. Drag this point here. Drag this one here. Let's pick this one and apply some brighter color. If you will move any point outside of the border, it will be automatically deleted. So for now I will press V for Selection tool and press Ctrl 2 to lock this layer. To create shapes like this, it's better to use Pencil tool. Just press N for Pencil tool. Then press Enter and apply these settings. Drag the slider to Smooth and apply following ones. Click OK. Now let's draw first shape. Let's fill it with solid color. I for eyedropper tool. Let's pick this one for example. To quickly change shape of this one, press Shift plus R. We just picked Warp tool. Press Enter again. Here you can change width of your brush. My recommendation for such illustration is to make Simplify 100%. Without 100% value, Warp tool will be creating unnecessary points. We don't need it. Click OK and just change proportions like this. After this, if you see that you have too many points, to view them, pick Direct Selection tool, press A. You should not have as many points. Go to Object, Path, Simplify. Click on Preview and click on Show Original. You click on Show Original just to view previous variation of this shape. Play with these values. I will stop on something like this. Click OK. Select the Gradient menu. Freeform Gradient. Let's pick this point. Color Picker. Pick this color for example. Select Lines. Click on this point. And just simply create line like this. It will be automatically curved. I will stop right here. To stop drawing line, press Ctrl. What options do you have with these points? You can pick any of them and apply sharp corner by holding Alt and click on any point. As you can see, we have sharp corner here. To return to smooth line, hold Alt and click on this point again. Drag them like so. I remind you that when you will move them outside of this border, they will be deleted. You can also create line like this. Let's delete this one for example. You can click here. You can create line like so. If you would like to move it to the right, just add point like this and move it. Let's apply different colors here. When you're zooming in or zooming out, your points are not visible anymore. To make them visible again, press G. Now let's imagine that we want to change color for 3 points at the same time. Let's try to pick them, but we can't do this because we're in lines mode. If you want to pick 3 points at one time, select points here, and now with Shift, you can select as many points as you want. Color picker, apply any color you want. Let's pick this point. With color picker active, apply color. Now let's create another line here. Select lines. Click here to create new points. If you want all other points to be the same color as this one, don't create white points like so. Just select first one, color picker, pick color, then press V and then press G for gradient tool. Click on this point and start to draw lines. When you want to draw a curve differently, not like this, but obviously you can't do this because gradient tool is not allowing you to do this, just click here, add new point and move it like so. I will play with colors here. You can also double-click on each point to change color. I will delete these points. I will create another point here. Just return to points. Add point. Change its proportion. Color picker. Let's make another shape. And for pencil tool, just draw it like this. Pick some solid color. We'll make transparent effect here. Gradient tool, Freeform Gradient. Select lines. Pick this point, color picker. Let's pick this color. V for selection tool, G for gradient tool. Select this point. I will move it here. Just create line like this. I'm not holding any key on my keyboard. I just create lines. Now let's press Ctrl to stop drawing line. Pick this point. Move it to the center. Select points mode because with lines mode you can regulate its spread. So select points. Change spread. Now as I've picked dark color here, select this point and change opacity to 20 or 10%. Now let's play with these ones. Just make this line look more interesting, move some of them closer to border and some of them closer to center. Like so. Now let's select all of them. I'm in points mode, not in lines mode. With lines mode you can't pick all these points in one time. Just let's select them and change opacity to 80% or even to 70. Select lines, create another point, color picker. Let's pick this color. And when you want to connect points, just connect them like so. Then click on this one and draw lines. I won't connect these ones because I want some kind of gap here. Let's press Ctrl to stop drawing line. Select points mode, select these points and change opacity to 70% also. Let's move them like this. If you want to make smoother transition in this place, just select this point, color, and pick some warmer color to match this one. Just a little bit. And the same here, just make this one a little bit colder. Like so. Now as you can see, transition become much smoother. You can also decrease opacity for these points. color for one of them. Now let's create this shape. And for pencil tool, just draw a shape like this. Let's pick some solid color. I remind you that if you want to quickly change proportions of this shape, press Shift plus R, change proportions. I will stop on something like this. Freeform Gradient, lines, pick this point, pick this color. V for selection tool, G for gradient tool. Let's draw a line like this. Select points, pick all these points, change opacity to 40%. Now let's move this point here, pick this color for example, select Lines mode, click on this point again. Let's just draw lines like this. Press Ctrl to stop drawing line. Apply different colors for these points. Now let's select Points mode, pick these points, and change their opacity. Let's change it to 60%. Let's pick this one also. I will apply 40% here. Let's look at what we have. Let's make these transitions smoother. Let's create even more points. I will make color for this one darker. For this one also, just a bit. I will decrease opacity for this one also to 80%, like this. For these ones also. If you see that your transitions are not smooth enough, like this, first of all try to move points. If it still doesn't work, just try to change color just a bit. As you can see, when you're applying a little bit different color, transition becomes more smooth. If you return to previous color that we had right now, we have some unpleasant moments, like this. Alright, let's place it here. You can change proportions of your shapes. Gradients won't change. I will add more point here. You can pick color from other gradients. I will pick this one. I will change opacity here. And we'll change color just a bit to have more smooth transition. You can also move point to see if it helps you. You can also add more points to make even more interesting look. Let's pick different color. I think I will move this point here. As you can see, when you're adding colors or simply move points, there's a lot of combinations going on. So you can always experiment with your colors. Just move them. See what works for you the best. Try to add points maybe. Move them like so, change colors. Or delete points. I will change this color just a bit. I think I will add line here. Just click on this point, select lines, create line like this, click here, and they play with curveness. Press Ctrl to stop drawing line. Let's change opacity for this one. If you don't want to change opacity of some point, you can simply fade color, select HSB mode, right here, and play with these values. If you want to add volume to flat shape, just like as we have here, pick similar colors for these points, like so. Then add point here, pick different color, select lines, and just draw a line like this. Now I will change colors for some points. Basically, to add volume to your shape, you should use Lines mode, draw a line along shape, apply colors, and then create colors closer to center of shape. I will change color here, because I see that this transition is not working for me. Let's create another shape, and for pencil tool, solid color, Shift+R for warp tool, object, path, simplify. Now let me show you one thing. Sometimes you can simply pick I for eyedropper tool and click on any gradient you want. If you have something like this, you can just change your lines like so. So obviously you don't need to create each shape from zero. Just pick some gradients, change lines and colors. Add line like this. If you want to connect points, select lines and connect them like this. I will add point here and change this line. I will add point here. Sometimes when you create points, you get this bad transition. This happens when you use points and lines at the same time. Sometimes it works well and sometimes it's not. Let's pick color for this point. And if you will connect it with line, let me show you this. I select line, select this point and connect it. This transition becomes much smoother. Let me press Ctrl Z. As you can see, we have only one point here. Bad transitions. Select lines mode, select this point, connect these ones, and you see great transition. Let's make this curve more soft. As you can see, I didn't even add some colors. I just added points, and I only need to move it to have some crazy results. I will add some lines here also, like this. Press Ctrl to stop drawing line. Also, you might have such situation when you want to quickly pick some different colors for one point. Use selecting this point, select color picker, trying to make different colors. But you can do this. This happens only when you have lines mode active. So select Points mode, select point that you want, color picker, and then you can quickly change color like this. It might seem a little bit tricky to use Freeform Gradient, but as you can see, there's only a few things to remember to make this tool one of your favorites. Mostly what you have to do with Freeform Gradient is to pick right colors and just simply play with points and lines. When I'm creating these shapes, I just can't predict what result will I have. I remind you that you can play with opacity. It will make your illustration look more interesting. Just let's make this corner faded, like so. Then you can place it to other objects and make some great design, like this. To add more depth to your design, you can just copy shapes like this, or create new ones, as you want to. Sometimes, by the way, your gradients might get broken like this, so you better save your document often, to press Ctrl Z and undo such broken parts. You should save your file not only as one file, but create duplicates, so you will have Freeform Gradient document number 1, number 2, number 3, and so on. This will save you time and you won't need to do the same things over and over. First, let's duplicate this one, like so. I press Shift+R for Warp tool. Change proportions just as you want. Don't look at broken gradients for now. Let's create another copy. When you have such sharp corner, you can simply press A for Direct Selection tool, Properties, and select Convert Selected Anchor Points to Smooth. And just drag this point like so. Now what you can do is to apply Clipping Mask, M for Rectangle tool, and select only these objects. Then right-click, Make Clipping Mask. Because if you will create Clipping Mask for these objects also, gradients might get broken, like you can see here. Then double-click on this Clipping Mask to enter Isolation mode, G for Gradient, and create new gradients for these shapes. If you can't move any points, like this, as you can see I can't move them, pick some gradient and try if you can fix it now. If not, I for eyedropper, pick another gradient. As you can see, I can work with this one, for example. I could not work with this one, and when I picked gradient from this shape, I can work with it. So you can try different shapes, or simply create new freeform gradient. Within Clipping Mask, you can move your objects like so. There was other way to make such result is to simply cut your objects. Let me release this Clipping Mask. You could just create rectangle like this, select this rectangle, select these objects also, press Shift+M, hold Alt, and delete these parts. But I don't recommend you to do this, because then you have cutted objects like this. You don't have control on them, so just make Clipping Mask, and then you will be able to move them, rotate them, and do anything you want. As you can see from this tutorial, with new gradient feature, Freeform Gradient, you can create rich blends of colors in few clicks, which makes work with gradients amazingly flexible and fast. If you learned something new from this tutorial, drop a comment below, let me know if everything was clear enough for you and what you liked about this video. If you enjoyed this tutorial, support this channel by clicking on subscribe, and what's most important, by clicking on the bell icon to get notifications about newest tutorials from TNT. I would also appreciate if you'll click thumbs up and will share this video. This was TNT Tutorials. See you in next videos.